Ah, that makes sense. Okay.
Okay,
Had to be A grade.
Okay, yeah, I'm so happy to be reviewing green now. It is your turn, Mobius, if I'm correct.
Okay. We're just waiting for the card to appear. There we go. Attune with Ether. 1 green. Search your library for a basic land card. Reveal it, put it in your hand. You get 2 energies. Oh. That's not bad. 2 energy is nice. Having come in halfway through the review, though, I don't know how super good this is gonna be. How good is splashing in Kaladesh, Scotty?
I wouldn't splash. It's
Not very good.
decks are
Well,
gonna
in that
probably
case,
be
this
pretty
is like a
proactive.
D plus. That's it.
Okay. I think this is C minus. Like being a tap land, it's kind of like a tap land that you need
Yeah,
the
basically.
prerequisite green for, but the 2 energy is like a real tangible bonus, and I think it's serviceable. You're just gonna be reasonably happy to run some of these in the deck if you have stuff to spend energy on. So I'm gonna go with the C minus.
Okay.
I don't think this is tap land. I don't think that's how it plays out, because if this is a tap land, then you're playing 1 less land to play this. And then you're gonna have more mulligans and so on. So I'm not very happy running this. Like Kaladesh, I don't like splashing that much in Kaladesh. I hope he's gonna be a little bit slower, because the slower the set is, more archetypes and play and like deck styles are available to draft. But I also have this as a D plus. Like if you really care about the energy, I guess then you put it and hopefully you have something to splash. But not a very good card. This was banned in standard, and who cares about standard? Omnath was banned in standard, so who's even playing Omnath?
Omnath is great. I crushed with Omnath. How dare you?
In limited?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have 100% win rate with Omnath.
I've heard that from multiple people.
I've had some really good Omnath decks, to be honest. It is still a meme card, though.
I think those decks were good because of other things than Omnath.
I mean, 100%. But that doesn't change the fact that they were good Omnath decks. You know what I mean?
Okay. Anyway, what we're doing Ornamental Courage.
I'm giving it D plus.
Am I reading this one? Yeah. Okay. D plus.
Good,
Ornamental Courage, green, 1 mana total for an instant. Untapped target creature gets +1/+3 until end of turn. Okay, yo, I think this effect. I actually did not really play with this card much when it was in original Kaladesh, but I actually think I should have played it more. This can actually, in terms of a double spelling potential, and it doesn't really matter as much that it can leave yourself out for a blowout because you're not actually losing that much in terms of mana advantage. Sure, you're getting 2 for 1, but the mana advantage or mana disadvantage that you're getting hit with isn't like that big. And I think if you're in a low to the ground racing situation specifically, I think this can pull a lot of work. Still yet, D plus for me.
I don't know. I didn't like this before. I don't think I'm gonna be super happy with it now. I'm gonna have it as a D. But it's nice in racing. It's okay in racing scenarios. Just keep up 1 mana and get that vehicle back. Get that sorry, not vehicle. Get that blocker back. I guess you can get a vehicle back if you crew it. So yeah, you're gonna be crewing for vehicles. So I guess you can get a blocker that was a part of the crew before. Still a D from me. I don't. I think the stat line is kind of weak.
Yeah, D. It's just a mediocre combat trick.
I'm sorry that took a little bit of time. I couldn't click right. So we have Unburdened Growth for Greenland. Green mana. You have an enchantment aura that enchants a land. And the enchanted land has tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. And you can sacrifice it to draw a card. So this was fine. This was like this played out better than it looked, because it was a trigger for revolt. But you kinda, you didn't. You didn't. The problem is you don't draw a card until you sacrifice it. So it's kind of tricky to play this as your splash source, because you really wanna have that land adding 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, and if it's not adding it when you draw that card, that splashed card, that could be a big problem, and then you could really want to draw a card. You could be out of the things to do on that turn, on the following turns, maybe out of cards at all. So I have this. I have it as a D plus, because some decks are really fine with this. Some decks are really, really fine with this. Sometimes you just have a lot of revolt cards, and then this is gonna do work. So, and maybe you're splashing, but I don't want to count this as a full splash source. This is like 0.5 or less, I think. Yeah, exactly. Exio said a nice revolt trigger. That's the main thing about it. So I guess I'm giving it a low D plus. It could go down depending on how it plays out.
D plus. I don't know how relevant it is outside of that. Like, again, I asked this to Scotty when you were away, Lola, but like, so we are just not looking to splash in this set.
I'm not.
You were looking for what?
Are we just not looking to splash in this set?
Yeah, I'm not looking to splash much, yeah. But I think it is a little bit easier this time, because it feels like maybe the set is a little bit slower. I just get that feeling, I'm not sure.
Okay, well, in that case, D plus seems about right.
Still mostly like Revolt. If you remember Revolt?
Yeah,
Mobieus?
yeah, something dies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Permanent leaves the battlefield, not
But,
dies, right?
but you have to control it.
You have to control it. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
A role player, and I think what, in my opinion, is going to be a more niche, not very common deck. It's a D for me.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Do you have
this
any
me?
new keywords in this remastered set before we continue that I don't know about?
No, nothing new. Nothing
keywords.
new.
All right then. Commencement of festivities. 1 colorless, 1 green for an instant that says prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to players this turn. Garbage F.
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 Okay. Goodbye.
You don't have to change my grade for this.
Let's talk about Druid of the Cowl. Druid of the Cowl is 1 green, 2 mana total for an Elf Druid, which is a 1/3. Tap to add green to your mana pool. I think this is solid. As solid as a 2-drop. It doesn't block particularly well, but the fact that it blocks anything at all, I think, is actually a big game over something like a 1/1, right? Like, I think a 1/1 would be significantly worse. The fact that this actually just blocks a 2, like a 2/1, or like a or like other 1/1 servos, etc. I think it's actually really, really big game. I'm actually just gonna can assist crewing later in the game, which is actually kind of nice. Just being able to update your utility creatures into something having a little bit more meaning. That's actually a pretty big game. I think there are actually some big beefers in green that you would actually really like to ramp into. I'm actually going to go for a B-. I was actually thinking about a C+, but I'm actually going to go up to B- for this one.
Whoa!
Just a fan.
Whoa, that's crazy. I mean, it's not crazy, but I didn't expect that. I'm giving it a solid C+. I kind of thought you were gonna get a little bit less, but yeah, I'm giving I'm giving it a C+. Very solid card. It doesn't block that well, but it's fine. It's fine because it's gonna.
Why don't you think it works that well?
Yeah. What?
You said it doesn't work that well, or it doesn't look.
It doesn't
block that well.
It doesn't block that well.
Oh, okay.
But
sure.
I think ramping and green is gonna be a nice thing to have, and yeah, it's not just a 1/3 in the end. It can crew vehicles, so I'm really solid. It's closer to a B- than a C+, but then it's B- for you, Xiox said, right? So, yeah, I'm giving this a solid C+.
Yeah, I'm on a high C plus as well. I mean, I'm not surprised like on a B minus at all because I'm quite close to that as well. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna start it off on a C plus, and I'll probably end up going up on it. I think this has a lot of utility. Like, it's a mana dork, 3 toughness. You know, it's good.
Yeah, yeah.
2 drop. You know.
And Kaladesh is a lot about the tempo, so if this helps you ramp into something bigger to block their things, that's pretty solid. It's Scotty's turn, or
Did you read the last one?
I think actually, yeah.
I went first on
Scotty
that
read,
one. It's
Scotty
your
read
turn,
it.
Lola.
So high spiring fusion, my bad. For 1 and a green, it's an instant target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn, and you get 2 energies. This is a really nice trick. I like it. Costs kind of a lot. I like this as a D+. Mobieus?
Yeah. I think this is good. But yeah, probably still D plus. It'll go up to C minus if you can make good use of the energy in your deck, but start it off at a D plus.
Yeah, D plus. Nothing else to add.
I remember
Do
these
energy
names.
counters proliferate? Yes. Oh, Scotty answered, yeah.
Yeah, but there is no proliferate. So
Yeah.
there is kind of a single target proliferates, a couple of those. Okay, Mobius?
Alright, Kajar Seeds Sculptor. 1 colorless, 1 green for a 1/2 elf druid. And when it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's very good.
Yeah,
I like this a lot.
yeah.
2 mana 1/2, or a 2 mana 2/3
Yeah.
if you don't put the counter on something else. I like this a lot. Easy C plus. I like this. That's a good 2 drop. Dauntless
Yeah.
Survivor feels bad. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so this is solid. Being able to put the +1/+1 counter to enable attacks and still being able to hold back some or trade off with some decent amount of stuff is good. I was teetering between C plus and C, and I'll be a coward and go with the crowd and go with C plus.
Yeah, easy C plus for me as well. Easy, solid. 2/3 counter synergies in this set. Let's go. You can make something else bigger? Sure.
Yeah, I love Dauntless Warrior. I think same reason I like the Beetle back in guilds. You know, I like all these 2 drops that let you put a counter on what you like, because late game they still have relevancy to make your biggest creature bigger. You know what I mean?
Also, you can crew the vehicle and then put a counter there. Pretty good
Sure.
with Sky Skiff, huh, Scotty?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sky Skiff. Mobius, wait. Can we take a pause and do Mobius's grade for Sky Skiff?
Okay.
Don't look at the grades, Mobius. Grade Sky Skiff.
Okay, hold on. Let me put it up.
Let's give Sky Skiff a grade.
2 colorless artifact vehicle, crew 1. It has flying, 2/3. Crew 1. That's pretty good. Huh. I was thinking of just starting it off on a CC plus, but the flying is so good. I'm a coward. I'm not gonna go up to B minus. I'm gonna give this a high C plus. I
Okay.
can't. Without playing with it, a very high C plus for me. But I'm not gonna give it a B minus. I like this flying.
Okay, C plus.
That's great.
Nice.
What grades did you guys give it?
It wasn't actually that different. I gave it a C plus. Lola gave it a C.
Oh, why are you low on it, Lola?
I don't think it's good in every deck. I think in some decks it just doesn't work.
What kind of deck does it not
If
work in?
you are crewing it with any 2-drop or 3-drop, it's not good. If you need a servo or you need something that wants to crew or something that's actually doing something else.
But I think that's too much of a generalization, right? Because a lot of 2 drops lose their utility as soon as the board gets blocked, but this flies and it has utility early on. I think it's
And it's a whole card. That creature cannot block. The reason I have it, if you crew it with something that's not a servo or something that doesn't...
I mean, yeah, if you're crewing it with a servo, this card is fucking excellent, right?
It's good, yeah.
Free servo, done. Let's go.
But
Yeah.
The problems that I had with the card, I think everybody was overrating it, and I was never sad about playing against sky skiffs, multiple sky skiffs, because in Kaladesh I remember if you tap a creature to deal only 2 damage in the air, doesn't matter where, in the air. If you're tapping a creature, because you're tapping 2 cards now, you're tapping a sky skiff and you're tapping something else. I had
Yep.
a problem that you attack with, so you're attacking with 2 creatures for 2 damage. Everyone wanted to raise in Kaladesh. Almost every deck wanted to raise. And then they just attack without a sky skiff. They attacked with 2 normal creatures. They just attacked
Yeah,
with 2 normal
you're right.
creatures. And that's
You're
a
putting
big
me
problem.
down on it a bit, and I'm sad about that. But I'm gonna stick with C+ for now.
Okay. I mean, it's not that far.
Yeah.
CX on a D+, I think I got bullied in the C. I could go down to a C-.
Did you say you started on a D+?
No, give it a C-. Give it a C- from me. I started with a D+. I started with a D+, yeah.
It's because I didn't say anything this time. Fine.
Fine.
You
Yeah,
can go
Scotty,
farther
you
away from
gotta
it.
you gotta
Yeah,
convince Lola. You know,
no,
he's
I'm gonna let
easily
Lola. I'm gonna let
influenced.
Lola sink. I'm gonna let Lola sink.
If
But I
you
have one more
ever-
question for you, Mobius.
If you ever
Yeah.
crew this with a creature, like, you're always curving out. You're always curving out with your 2 drops, with your 3 drops. If you crew this with a creature that doesn't have a great ETB effect, that doesn't have a great crew effect, rarely almost nothing has a great crew effect. Something that's just a vanilla creature, and a lot of creatures are just vanilla creatures. If you're crewing it with that, you're losing a race, unless your opponent made a shitty deck and they cannot race. Fire it, C-.
All right, Mobius. One more thing before we move on, real quick. So thanks for rating Skyskiff. Another disagreement. What grade do you give Luis Scott Vargas?
Now fuck you.
What? Sage of Shalai's claim, or just LSV in general? I'm confused.
Let's move on to Sage of Shalai's claim.
It's because Mobius. It's because I said I don't know, there was like 2 sets, and I said I'm certain that I'm better in drafting those sets than LSV. And he didn't really draft a lot, so big wonder. Everybody got angry at me, and accidentally said it on limited resources because I was kind of ignorant back then, and I didn't know that he was the host of limited resources. I didn't know.
Wait.
On Discord
You
channel.
said it in the limited resources.
Yeah,
Reddit.
yeah. I was like,
Oh my God! Why?
yeah.
No.
I didn't know. I'm sorry. I don't
No.
have time. I work and I stream. I don't have time to follow everything. And I was.
Oh.
Why did I say it? Why did I say it? Because I was just discussing with people like, what's up, drafting, la la la. It was fun. Cool community. And
The thing
everybody
is,
was,
right?
everybody-
I understand your pain because if you don't know who LSV is, you don't know how much of an icon he is.
I know who
Like,
LSV is.
yeah, but like you
and I
don't. You
know
obviously
how
don't
much of
know.
an icon he is. And I know he made Eternal that I played a ton before, and I know about his accomplishments, but I didn't really know back then about social media and shit like that. So, and
You're just a
everybody was,
boomer. That's what you're saying.
you know why I said it? Everybody was constantly there. Big wonder. Like, everybody was constantly mentioning LSV. And I'm like, I mean, we're talking about draft. LSV is alright at drafting this set. I mean, he did like 5 drafts when everyone else who drafts a lot did like 50 or 70. I saw him drafted and he was getting the hang of it. He was still getting the hang of it when a lot of the people already got the hang of that format. And I was like, what is this? Why are you always talking about him? Like, he's not very good at this set. Like, no need to do it. And I didn't know. That was a big mistake. Like, I have a cold sweat now when I remember about that. I'm not joking. And I didn't know. And later, like, everybody was ganging up at me. Everybody was angry, like,
Who the fuck are you in all Reddit?
and I couldn't understand it because, of course, they didn't say that
Dude,
this
I'm
is
crying.
actually his channel, right? They didn't say it. It was like, who the fuck doesn't know that? Who doesn't know that? And
Man, I love LSV. He was the limited resource was the first kind of resource that I started consuming when I was like seriously trying to level up in limited. Like it was the first thing I turned to. Not because it was the best or whatever. It was just the most relaxed and entertaining for me. So I was
Yeah.
like, you know what, this is fun. And LSV is a personality more than anything. So,
Yeah.
man, I love LSV. And I feel your pain, dude.
yeah, it
I would
sucks.
never be able to live that down. I mean,
Yeah.
what the fuck? No, why did I do this?
And like
Oh my
everybody,
days.
everybody
I'm
thinks
literally
I
crying.
dissed.
I can't believe you did that.
Everybody thinks I dissed LSV because of that.
You
like,
obviously didn't. Yeah, you
'cause-
obviously
but
didn't.
you cannot defend
And
yourself like.
you know what? You're probably right as well, but you can't go saying that in his Reddit.
I know, I didn't know. Like I promise you, with my life, I didn't know. Later, I told the moderator, like in private, like, oh man, I didn't know that. And he's like, are you fucking kidding with me? I'm like,
I'm
I'm
actually
sorry,
crying,
I
dude. I
promise you, I
can't
didn't know that. I would not do that here, right? What the fuck? And he's like, okay, you shouldn't probably tell that in the everybody's just gonna gang up on you even more if you tell that, because that's like the worst damage control ever. Like who the fuck doesn't know that? So I didn't even say it on that I didn't know, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, I get it.
That's hilarious, dude. If
I
you
mean-
ever meet him, that's a great story to talk about. Because as far as I know, he's pretty down to earth, or he seems pretty down to earth. But you know, fans
yeah,
are fans.
but let's say okay.
So
but
fans are fans, you know.
Let's say about Ben Stark. He mentions me sometimes, and he mentions that, like he says some good things, and then he says, but I don't like that he dissed LSV. So it's everybody who knows about it. I dissed LSV, right?
Wait, did Ben say that?
Yeah.
No.
So that's like,
No.
so it's like dissing LSV. Like I mean,
Feels bad, dude.
you have to be a freak. Like, okay, of course his accomplishments are freaky, but you gotta be like a freak of nature. Like I don't know, 200 IQ.
Wow,
Probably
that's not
can't
nice to
walk.
say that about
Wait,
us.
you don't even know
Crazy
what I'm
freak.
gonna say. Like you
Quick, somebody
probably
clip
your
it.
arms don't work. That's because your brain is that big. To do every fucking thing that he's doing, like he is so fucking busy. So he doesn't have time to play as much, to draft as much. So to do all of those things and be on top of the draft game, like that's basically impossible, and that's why he isn't. So that anymore. Before he had more time. Like he's everywhere. He's doing so much work. Like on Eternal. He has a fucking game. I mean,
Of his own, yeah.
yeah,
Eternal, yeah.
which I love, and yeah,
I've never played Eternal, not gonna lie.
that I played it right before Arena for I don't know a year. or
Eternal's
something.
quite good.
I don't
in
want
my
to get
opinion.
into it. It's one of those things where
No,
I'm like, well, if I start playing Eternal, I'm just gonna stop playing Magic. So I'm just gonna
No,
leave it.
you won't. When you start playing Eternal, you're gonna like it, and after some time, you're gonna be.
What is it missing?
It's gonna be like, okay, but this is great, but I mean, there's Magic the Gathering.
Anyway, Sage of Shalai's claim, 1 colorless, 1 green for a 2/1 elf druid. It gives you 3 energy when it ETBs. Wow. I like this. I like this. Without knowing how prevalent my energy is going to be in my deck, I'm going to pick this still fairly highly at a C+.
All right, this card's trash. D+.
Yeah, this card is trash. I
Hello?
remember this looking good. This looked so good, and it was not good ever. Like 2/1 is not what you want. That's why
Nice.
actually I don't know why I gave the haste guy in red like a C. Can you give a C minus to the haste guy in red? That's 2/1
Yeah,
that cruise
yeah,
vehicles.
okay.
Whoa, are you going down on something else?
Yeah, because the 2/1s are really not good in
Is
this
a
format.
terrible body in this format? You guys
if
are
they don't have-
right.
yeah,
It's crazy to put it at a C+. I'm going to stick with it for now.
I'm gonna put
Nice.
it as
I'm gonna give you the noob's perspective of the
okay,
grading.
okay.
All my grades are gonna be like if a new player entered the battlefield and was like, "Oh, this looks really good." I'll fix it, maybe.
What? So you're sticking with the C+?
Yeah.
Nice, spicy. I love it when I can check
Come
What do you
on,
think about
man.
the card?
3 energy? Not even 2 energy. It gives you 3 energy.
Yeah,
I mean, when it was just me and Lola, all I had to ask you was the difference between C and C+. That was the biggest difference we had. Look how not spicy that is.
Yeah, that's completely not spicy. Oh, by the way, yeah, I was thinking with a
We
D+.
haven't even argued yet, so.
I kind of wanted to give it a D, but I think it's okay for a D+. It's gonna be okay in some decks, and there is less ways to use energy, I think, in this format. So that's also a thing than before. So yeah, like a D+.
It's just the way it is.
All right, let's go to the next one.
Wait, I didn't hear it. What did we get?
What?
Sugarnote donated 5 euros. Thank you so much. The idea that
Euros?
you'd be better drafting sets. You drafted 50x or plus more than any pro is not ridiculous. It's just the way it is, yeah. Thank you so much, and thank you for the donation. Was that too low? I couldn't even hear it.
I didn't hear
Let's talk
anything,
about-
but then.
Okay, I gotta
Okay,
turn it
let's
up.
try muted.
Let's talk about Appetite for the Unnatural. 2 green, 3 mana total. For an instant, destroy target artifact or enchantment. You gain 2 life. Gaining 2 life tacked on to a board affecting ability is relevant. There are going to be some times where you are unfortunately only going to kill like a servo with this, but there's going to be some times where it can actually nix like a problematic vehicle or something that you're actually interested in. So much so where I would main deck this in best of 1, and I think this is a perfectly serviceable card. I'd take this at a C.
See?
A C. For Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
So wait, this is better for you
Chili Chonka.
than the red one?
What red one?
The red destroy target artifact?
No,
Or-
they're both the same.
C?
They're
Oh,
both
you have a C is red, right, for you, right?
Yep. Destructive Tampering was a C for me. I actually think Destructive
Oh,
Tampering is
yeah,
a little bit better.
destructive tampering. I
Yeah,
remember
I also
that.
think it's better. What did I give the destructive tampering?
A C. I'm consistent.
No, what did I give
Look.
it? What did I give it?
Oh, I think you gave it like a D+. Sorry, let me go look. You gave it some wild grade.
Oh, that's crazy. Can you give my grade to that a C as well, please?
Oh,
Yeah,
C?
you gave it you gave it a D. You gave it a straight up D.
No, it's okay.
Wow, that's terrible.
Yeah, that is terrible.
That feels bad.
um,
I'm on C for both.
I guess I
Appetite
can
and
give
destructive
both.
tampering.
Can you change my grade for that to a D plus? But this I think is worse. I'm gonna give this a D, and the tampering D plus.
Okay.
Yeah, but this hits enchantments as well.
Yeah,
Slightly relevant.
I think it's more relevant to get a better attack in.
I think destructive tampering is definitely better than this, but
Yeah,
not a grade's
yeah.
worth of difference for me.
Whew. Lola is up next for High Spire Artisan.
So just answering Zio's side, I think destructive tampering is better because sometimes it can end the game, right?
Yeah,
So that's really this card will never end the game in quotes, but appetite
could
won't end the
help,
game.
yeah.
But destructive tampering, I remember was it last in guilds? I feel like it was in guilds, one of the guild sets or something.
I think it was in a core set.
Was it in a core set? Either
thought
way,
it
it
was
was
yeah.
it was one of those cards that you wouldn't really pick at all in that set because it wasn't relevant. But it'd be a sideboard card that sometimes would just win you the game. It's just fun. But in this set, it's going to be a lot more relevant, right?
Lola, you want to read High Spire Artisan?
yes. High Spire Artisan for 2 and a green. It's an artifice, or everything is. It's a 0/3 reach, but it has Fabricate 1 that we explained before. So it can be a 1/4, or it can be 0/3 making a 1/1. I was never very impressed with this. Funny thing, usually Fabricate, I kind of want to create that 1/1, but with this, I kind of want it to be 1/4 to block. Not really happy. 0/3 is just too low, too weak if you're making that servo. Doesn't attack well, and you kind of want to attack in Kaladesh. If you block, you kind of want to kill the creatures, so they don't just make use of their energy. That comes up a lot. No, I think this is. Is it a D or a D plus? I'm just gonna give it a straight up D.
Yeah, I'm on a D. I don't like this.
Okay, I was on a D as well.
Okay. Ooh, Mobius.
Okay. Thriving Rhino. 2 colorless, 1 green for a 2/3 Rhino. When it enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy. And when it attacks, you may pay 2 energy. And if you do, put a +1/+1 counter on it. How many cards have this ability, guys? I've seen 2 so far. Is it just green that has this?
What, you mean +1/+1 counter?
For 2 energy, yeah.
No, there is a shitty blue card that has it, and this is the only green card that has this kind of effect.
Okay, well, I like this. 3 mana, 3/4. I'm gonna just give this a C+. I like it.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty high value 3-drop. I think this is always going to be one of your better 3-drops. The green decks are pretty decent producing energy. Attacks is a 3/4, which is unfortunate if you are on the defensive. You know, you drop this on turn 3 and you want it to be a 3/4 blocker, but you have to attack first, so it gets tapped. So that's a little awkward, as Lola's been saying a bunch. But overall, very powerful and can attack twice. If it attacks twice and you put 2 counters on it, it's phenomenally good. I think it averages out to C+ as well.
What I mean, if you, you need to get energy somewhere else, right?
Yep.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I think you're going to
Good
be
point,
attacking a
Sky.
lot. When you're on the defensive, problem. But I think you are going to be attacking a lot. So C+, I really like this card. Big fan. Always have been. 3/4 is really solid. If everybody noticed, like, there is a very big lack of good, like 4Xs or like 4/4, 4/3, 4/5. Something that can actually profitably block this. There is a very big lack of that kind of things. So yeah, keep that in mind when thinking about this card.
Let's talk about Hunt the Weak. 3 green, 4 mana total for a sorcery. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Then that creature fights target creature you don't control. Powerful if it works. Conditional, quite expensive. But if the effect does get pulled off, you don't get blown out by some sort of instant speed interaction whatsoever. Then the board actually looks much better for you. Either improving your blockers, making sure that an attacker can now punch through something that couldn't before. But instead of being busted, the cost and the sorcery speed definitely weighs it down a bunch. But I think that's still a C+ for me. But C+. I'm going to go with C+.
Yeah, I'm gonna start as a C+ as well. The counters do matter a little bit, but in green they do matter more than anywhere else. So it's not like huge counter set or anything. It is fight. I don't know. It is a fight, so I guess since this is a green card, yeah, then it probably kills what you want to kill. But yeah, kind of suck it. It has to fight. I'm starting as a C+. We're gonna see how it plays out. But I think for green, it is a C+. In any other color, would it probably been just a C or something lower.
I'm on an easy C+ for this. And if it wasn't for my lack of enthusiasm for fighting in this set, I'd give it higher, but like a B-. But like if you fight, then sometimes you won't be able to attack with the creature for the turn because it's taken damage already, that kind of thing. If they have any other blockers, which I think is relevant in an aggro format. So C+, still good.
I cannot think of a set where this would be, maybe super old sets where this would be a B- for me, just to add on that.
Oh, Scotty's thinking of Hunter's Edge?
Hunter's Edge from M21.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, yeah, this feels bad compared to Hunter's Edge.
Yeah.
But still, it's still
Hunter's
fine.
Edge was excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the cards feel, and there it was a more counters were more supported, right? As well.
This
Oh,
is
yeah,
one of the
Hunter's Edge is nice.
reasons, right? Just off topic. One of the reasons why I wasn't super excited to review, because when we did Amonkhet, it's the same kind of thing where, because it's a remaster set, mostly it's just the same old cards, and we've seen newer sets since then, and the mechanics are just better, the cards are just better. It's just they're more play tested, right? So it just seems like when you go back to older cards, you can see some of the not deficiencies, but some of the not power creep level of cards, and it's just not as much fun. But yeah, anyway, go ahead, Loda.
So we have a Pima Outrider for 2 and a double green. We have a 3/3 trample with Fabricate 1. This is a primo 4-drop. This is so good. Usually it is gonna be a 4/4, just 4/4 trample in Kaladesh for 4. That's so big. That truly is huge creature in Kaladesh for 4 mana, right? Without any need to improvise or whatever. And you can also make 1/1, which is gonna matter. Like sometimes you see, okay, I have a 4/4, right? I wanna attack, but I'm always gonna get double blocked. I have no tricks. I guess a 3/3 is sufficient. So and just get that 1/1, like 3/3 and 1/1 are gonna be fine in Kaladesh. So I don't know if I should give this a B-. Kind of feels like a B- to me for Kaladesh, right? What do you think, guys? I think it's B-. I'm starting as B-, but
I'm giving
you
it a
can
B-.
You can talk me down to a C+.
Nah, I'm on B-. Before you even open your mouth, I was like, I like this. Again, I don't know how much extra you guys are tacking on for Fabricate, not Fabricate. But like I value Fabricate quite a lot. Like I think you know me, I always preach about flexibility in limited, and I just like Fabricate as a keyword. And 4 mana 4/4 trample is perfectly fine for 4. A 4 mana 3/3, and then getting a 1/1 when you need a servo, a cheap blocker, or something to crew, etc., etc. Like it's just really good. Easy B-.
Yeah.
What mode of Fabricate is better to use? They're both good. That's the best thing about it. You get to choose, right?
A lot of the time, just 4/4 is so huge in Kaladesh. So.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the time, you're just going to make a 4/4 attack.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can sometimes, if you need an extra blocker or something like that, or like I said, something to crew your, what was that thing called? Skiff or something? It's nice.
Yeah. I'm agree with everything. I think this is a premium 4-drop. It's going to be definitely... You want basically all your 4-drops to like be this if they're not uncommons or whatever, something better. Even then, I don't prioritize the 4-drops as highly as I do the premium like low drops. So I'm just gonna put this C+, but it's very strong.
Fair enough. All right.
Mobieus?
Yeah, Wild
you didn't give it a grade, Lola. All right, what did you give it?
A B-.
Oh, B-.
Okay.
Wild Wanderer, 3 colorless, 1 green for a 3/2 elf druid. Not even an artificer. Sag. When ETBs, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Nice. Although it is 4 mana. How much green? You haven't looked at green at all. So what we've seen of green is all we've got so far, right?
Well, that's most common.
You looked at gold cards as well, didn't you?
Yeah, this is most commons that we have so far.
Well, I mean, this will be affected by the cards that follow, obviously the higher value ones. But sure, I'll start this off on a... Oh man, I'm gonna have to start it off on a C+. I can't go... Even with the 3/2 body, I think I'm starting this off on a C+.
Yeah, this card's junk, D+.
Yeah, just a 3/2 for 4. I don't like it in. This would be nice in most sets.
No, it's okay. I knew you guys were gonna say this, but until I play myself and I realize that I can't be playing 4 mana 3/2s on the board and it doesn't work, I'm just dead. I'm gonna value this at base value, where in any other set in general, this card would be a C+, because you don't have to put the land in hand; it hits the battlefield. You know what I mean? So it's just nice.
I think it unfortunately suffers relevantly next to Pima Outrider. Specifically, I would take infinite Pima Outriders before my first Wild Wanderer. I don't really want to be splashing, and I think the 2 toughness. And the 2
That's true.
toughness is actually really painful.
Yep,
The extra, you don't really do stuff with the excess land, which is one of my main problems with
Ooh.
Wild Wanderer.
Yeah.
You know, there's no mana sinks that you're really happy about. Hey, I want to hit my 6th land drop so I can like really do it. You know. So yeah, I'm on a D+. What do you,
I
Bella?
100% agree that the Pima is way better, which is why I have it at a high grade. But then you had that slightly lower, so I think we're on the same page overall.
Lotus is not going to give it a grade. Let's move on.
No, he's
I'm
gonna
just,
talk
but
about it.
you're continuing to talk. I'm just gonna give it like I'm gonna actually give it a C minus because I believe it's gonna be a little bit slower format, and it could be much better than it is. But I'm 99% sure that I'm gonna go down to D plus because it wasn't good before.
Yeah, I'm probably like, if the set works out like last time, or even worse. How many actually new cards have they added?
Maybe
Because I haven't checked.
One that is shit. I think I don't remember.
So it's the
Well,
same
there's no,
exact
like-
set.
It's Aether Revolt and Kaladesh fused together, right?
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, fair enough.
So like the format's a little different, but it's mostly the same.
Not much, yeah. Okay.
And they added one Planeswalker deck card for who knows what reason.
Okay.
So
I guess they added Planeswalker deck cards to Amonkhet Remastered too, like the Wasp and the
yes, the
God
Wasp.
Barrow Archer. Yeah.
For some number of times, I don't know why I thought that the Wasp was 3 mana 2/1. I don't know why I always because the black had like a 4 mana 3/1, and then it made sense to have a like compare 4 mana 3/1 or 2 mana 2/1 that they added in what's the name, Amonkhet. Yeah, it's so weird. But yeah, I'm gonna start this as a low, extremely low C minus, and it probably goes down to a D or a D plus because it didn't play out well in the last set at all. Okay. Scotty, your turn, right?
Lifecraft Calvary. 4 green, 5 mana total for an elf warrior, which is a 4/4. It's trample. And Revolt, Lifecraft Calvary enters the battlefield at 2+1/+1 counters. If a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn. If you drop this as a 6/6, it's backbreaking. Even dropping as a 4/4 is passable. It's not exciting. But if you manage to revolt, either by attacking, being proactive, attacking, and getting a 6/6, it will dominate the game, like absolutely dominate the game. 6/6 is massive in the format. You know, like your opponent has to jump through hoops to crew like a clunky vehicle in order to match this. Honestly,
And trample.
but that being said, I don't prioritize 5 drops particularly highly. I'm going to put this at a C, but I do think that if your deck can sort of consistently get this as a 6/6, it's going to be extremely good to hit on turn 4 or turn 5. You're lucky if it's turn 4 because of Druid.
So what do you give it in the end?
Yeah, they're flat C.
Yeah, this is one of the things you have to worry about when you think about Revolt. That's why instant speed removal after a certain point or against certain colors, you gotta play it on your turn. So this enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1, so you cannot deal like 4 damage to it. It doesn't go on the stack. So it's gonna be a 6/6 for 5 is huge in the Revolt again. It gets trample. No jumping with your servos. You're gonna have problems if this enters a 6/6. But still, I'm giving it a C. And it goes up if you have really good triggers. Like in Golgari, you could have really nice triggers for Revolt, so it's probably gonna go up in those decks. But I'm starting as a solid C. I was happy playing a couple of days, but there are also some other 5 drops that are nice, and those 5 drops don't really require any Revolt. So starting as a solid C. Really could go up to a C plus, like maybe even a high C plus, just as a base, depending on how the set plays out. What do you think, Mobieus?
Would you give it?
A C.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on board for that.
All right. Anything to add?
I'd put this at a B minus again if this was. Oh, my mind's gone blank. What's the servo thingy called? Fabricate. Why did I just suddenly? That just left my brain. Yeah, that's how much I think that's how much I value Fabricate. Just as an example, I just put this straight up there.
And people are gonna be careful about blocking, so your attacks are gonna be good on turn when you have 5 mana, I think.
I don't know. I'm not gonna play around this too much. It's gonna be like, especially in best of 3, right? Because once you know about it, you know. But in best of 1, you'll play around it a little bit. I think being too cautious around this is just gonna lose you the game. Letting damage through for free, but it's one of those things that you should be keeping in mind when blocking.
There is no best of 3, unfortunately, yes.
Is it just not going to be at all?
Same,
Or-
I suppose it's gonna be the same. They didn't announce it, and we didn't have best of 3 for what's the name? M0bieus Remastered. So very unfortunately, but I think I don't know why, but what can you do?
All right.
The last green common, we have a Riparian Tiger. For 3 and double green, you have a 4/4 Trample Cat. That gives you 2 energy counters when it enters the battlefield, and when it attacks, you may pay 2. If you do, it gets a +2/+2 until end of turn. So, if you can revolt the other thing, it is so much better, but this is gonna be a 6/6 when it attacks. I remember being completely fine. What are you asking, Han? Don't you all normally do a tier list in the context of best of 3 and Kaladesh is only best of 1? Yeah, so we're kind of doing it in not just best of... We're not giving side grades, but yeah. So... I remember being okay with this. Like, sometimes you don't even have to... Like, you don't... It's not like you attack with it as a 6/6 and then it's a 4/4. You can attack with it as a 4/4 or use the energy somewhere else. Because you're gonna have a bunch of things on the field when you play this probably, and then you can wait. So you see a 4/4 opponent. So let's say opponent is attacking and they don't have a good blocks for a 4/4. So just attack with it as a 4/4. It is not just a 6/6 and then always a 4/4, which would be much worse. But still, don't want too many 5-drops, and we have other green 5-drops that are fine. I kind of feel like I should give both of those 5-drops a C- now they're here. I'm gonna start it as a C as well.
Okay. I'm going to go down to C- for this. I'm going to take this slightly lower than the other one.
I actually give it a C- from me. Give it a C- from me as well.
I don't have much to add other than you, though. Like, it's a 5-drop. You don't want too many of them. It's double
No.
green. You need energies, which, it's fine. But I think on balance, I prefer our other 5-drop.
Okay, I actually think they're just interchangeable. I think they're the exact same. Yeah, they take a hit from both of them being reasonable, but I'm gonna give it a C.
Okay.
What did you ask, Han? What no, why it's okay? We should. What
She's never going to tell you now. You're never going to find
I
out.
don't understand at all. Sorry, Han. What do you give it, Scotty?
C.
Okay. I'm kind of thinking. You know what? I'm gonna start both of, but there are better green. You don't want many 5-drops as a thing.
Yeah.
I'm okay with my C-. I'm okay with my C-.
Click on the Scryfall link instead of the new link for card images. Okay, so go back. Can we get the Scryfall link?
No?
So if you go to the main sheet.
Okay, the typo was fatal. Yeah, no, you're doing it right, Lola. Click on the new card. Yeah, you're doing it right.
Okay, it's hidden. All right. Okay, we're on to the green uncommons. There are less. You're gonna see less.
This
of
isn't
these,
the
but
new
there's-
art, is it?
What?
Doesn't Blossoming Defense have new art?
No, not all of them have new art. Just the ones that they, for
Yeah.
artists they no longer work with, have replaced art.
Okay. Okay. Flipping Wizards. I got my hopes up for no reason then.
You thought
So
the
they're
whole
doing
set
it
was
for
reskinned?
political. Well, not the whole set, but I thought they'd be doing more than just for political reasons or whatever. But I mean, it's still cool, but that makes me sad. Anywho, Blossom. Go ahead, Lola. You were saying something about uncommons.
We just you're not gonna see that many of uncommons, but they're still defining the archetype. You expect to get one, maybe if the color is open. So it is not as defining as commons, but still important.
Yep. Blossoming Defense, 1 green for an instant combat trick, which says creature gets +2/+2 and hexproof, which is pretty nice. I mean, this card was really good, right? You saw a lot of standard play as well, I think.
More standard play than limited, I think.
Yeah, for sure. But I think overall it's still a combat trick. I'm gonna have this at a C- probably.
Okay,
That's
I actually
really
think this is like pretty much as good as combat tricks are gonna get. I'm personally a big proponent of 1 mana combat tricks. Very easy to leave up, very easy to double spell with. I'm gonna give this a solid C.
What do you give it, Mobius?
C-. I've seen better combat tricks.
Yeah. I'm still on a D+ for this combat trick. It's still a combat trick. It's fine.
If you don't show me no feet, I'm not gonna be impressed.
Yeah, exactly. And there is a Subtle Strike, which I still think is a better combat trick.
Which one?
Subtle Strike.
Yes. I mean, I almost put Subtle Strike in the realm of removal. The amount of times you just remove something like that is just so good. Yeah, those are the combat tricks you can. Ugh,
There is
those are the ones I want.
Kaladesh, by the way.
I'm glad we're
Sorry?
consistent because I actually consider them in the same realm. Subtle Strike, Blossoming Defense, so
Oh yeah.
I'm glad they're both the same grade for me.
Seems fine.
Me? Nom Nom Renegade. Green for an Elf Warrior. It's a 1/2. Death Touch, Revolt. When Narnim Renegade enters the battlefield, Narnim Renegade enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter. If a opponent you control left the battlefield this turn. Yeah, dropping this on turn 1 is not embarrassing. I actually think it keeps up well in the format in terms of curving out or stopping your opponent's curve outs. If you drop this later on as like a double spell after you attacked and traded something off, it's also just a reasonable body. I think everything about this is completely reasonable. I also have this at a flat C.
See?
C. This card's fine.
I
It's
remember
pretty good.
really liking this card.
I like it too.
Like 1/2 Death Touch is fine. If it's a 2/3 Death Touch, more than fine. 1 mana. I got this as a C+.
I'm gonna C for this. I agree with Scotty though. It's really cool.
Okay.
I mean, Death Touch on a 1/2 for 1. It's nice.
Revolt
Sometimes
is
it's a
so solid.
2/3. Feels good.
A Long Tusk Cup. For 1 and a green, it's a 2/2. Whenever Long Tusk Cup deals combat damage to a player, you get 2 energy. And you can pay 2 energy to put a counter on Long Tusk Cup. So this is gonna be a card that is... This is extremely powerful. This is gonna be the card that's gonna define your deck, especially if you get multiples.
Ooh.
If it is gonna be so... This can just run away with a game on its own as a 2-drop. And the bottom line is it's a 2/2. And every time you get energy, you can put a counter on it. So, let's say you play it on 2.
There's no limitation either. Like,
Yeah. If
not once a
exactly.
turn or when it attacks
No,
or
nothing.
just whenever you like.
Whenever you like. So, let's say the opponent doesn't play a 2-drop and you play this. That's crazy. This is not sorcery speed, yes. That's crazy. And like if you have multiples of these, energy cards go so much higher in the value. If you play it a 3-drop or a 2-drop and get an energy and it's a 3/3 attacking and gets another counter, this is crazy good. I think I kind of want to pick it as a B. I'm probably picking this over most removal. Or B- or a B. I gotta think about it. You guys talk about it while I think.
Picking it over most removal, huh? So I'm just trying to sort that in my head, and I think I'm on board. I probably would. This is a solid, early pick to build around. I say build around, but in quotes, because you got the incidental energies on a lot of cards and stuff. So I think I like this a lot. Oh, B? B's high though.
Yeah, B's high.
B's high. The thing is, late game, you can still play it, and if you have some energy lying around, you can make it like a 4/4. And then it's a 2-mana 4/4. But late game, your mana usage isn't that important. So I'm gonna keep it at a B minus, but I might very well go up. It's definitely in the B territory for me. I think this card is bonkers. I really like it.
Okay, yeah, I have this as a B. I would take this over some of the common removals, like the common red removals. Pretty nightmarish if you're able to develop energy pre-combat and throw off your opponent's blocks. Then the game actually sometimes just ends. It's very strong.
Yeah. Keep it as a B for me. It's crazy. This card is just crazy. Mobieus?
All right, Nature's Way, 1 colorless, 1 green for a sorcery. It says target creature you control gains vigilance and trample until end of turn. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Oh, I didn't. What?
Yeah.
I don't remember this card very well. This seems
Oh,
very
really?
good. No, why don't I remember this card very well?
Huh.
No, I don't. Oh, I'll be honest. Like I said, this was around when I started playing Arena, or I might have played it a little bit before, but drafting wise, I wasn't doing too much because I was poor. So, yeah, this seems very, very good. Straight up B minus. Yeah, B minus. You still need a good creature.
Yeah, I mean, it has the same limitations as Rabid Bite. The Vigilance Trample are nice. They're
nice.
not necessarily they don't necessarily change what you can attack with, right? If you Rabid Bite like a medium-sized creature, it's not like you can suddenly attack past a larger creature. But in terms of racing scenarios, sometimes they're just going to Nature's Way. You attack with their large creature, and then you can't even attack back still because that thing's
Still
there.
there.
Yeah, B minus for me.
Yeah, solid B minus. Rabbit biting on steroids, yes. But not that much stronger than
Not
Rabbit
quite.
Bite.
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say on steroids. Just like
It's
it's
a
been
strictly
going to the
better
gym.
Rabbit bite, but it is not that important.
Yeah, it's like Rabid Bite with a full good 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah, well rested.
Oh, sir, Scotty, is it you?
Let's talk about Servant of the Conduit. Once I reset the grade.
Now this card I remember.
Okay, so Servant of the Conduit is 1 green. It's an elf druid. Servant of the Conduit enters the battlefield. You get 2 energy, and you can tap to pay energy to add 1 mana of any color. I think this is this is in the same realm for me as Druid of the Cowl, but Druid of the Cowl is, or sorry, this one is much stronger than Druid of the Cowl, just being a 2/2, being able to attack. Still tussles decently in combat as just a 2 mana, as just a bear, and being able to ramp out something like Pima Renegade or ramp out something like Riparian Tiger a turn early is actually big game. I think that's going to be Green's main game plan. We're all talking about how Kaladesh is aggressive. Kaladesh, you really have to spend your mana efficiently, and being able to drop large beef a turn early, I think is going to be what Green really wants to do to be able to keep up with some of the more efficient starts from the other decks. So I actually think this is super good. I'm going to put this in a B minus as well.
I love this card. I loved it before. You do not have to even spend this energy. So if you're not ramping, you still get the energy for something if you want to use it. So, but I still have it as a high C+. I don't think it's going to be minus.
Oh, I really like this card also, but I'm on a C+. C+. Oh, I need to give the other 2-drop. I need to put the other 2-drop back down to a C. I was too jovial in giving it a C+. What was it called again?
The cow druid something.
No, not Druid Cow. The other one, the 2/1 that gives 3 energy.
Yeah.
This is infinitely better. I know it's an uncommon, but still.
Yeah, it's infinitely better. So, by the way, soon we are gonna come to the green 5-drops that are uncommon, sure, but there is 2 of them, which are kind of infinitely better.
I mean, we'll be there soon. Let's.
I gotta
get
say,
there.
soon we're gonna come there.
What is the link?
And they're kind of infinitely better than the previous 5-drops, and that's why I think my grades for the previous 5-drops are gonna go down pretty fast. Maybe even today.
I can buy C- on both the other previous 5 drops. I mean, I'm just looking at it. I'm just looking at it, and yeah, I get that.
I think I'm also gonna give a C- if you can change it to both of those 5 drops.
Okay, I'll go with you. We'll give the green 5 drop C-. It looks like there's a lot of competition.
A lot of competition.
Is
And
that-
you still
I
don't
haven't
want too
seen.
many 5 drops. You still don't want too many 5 drops.
I haven't seen them. You guys are cheating.
We have a Molfist Revolutionary. For 1 and a double green, we have a 3/3 trample that says when Molfist Revolutionary enters the battlefield or dies, for each kind of a counter on target permanent or player, give that permanent or player another counter of that kind. 3 mana, 3/3. Beautiful. Kind of hard to cost. Not something to forget about. On a 5 drop, 2 green is negligible unless you're splashing. On a 4 drop, also pretty manageable. On a 3 drop, it is kind of hard. But it is a 3/3 trample, which is great. And it has a really powerful effect for the stats it has, because the stats are great already. You can make something, if you can get something, get a +1/+1 counter, that's perfect. And if not, just getting the energy is pretty nice. And if nothing of that happens, when he dies, he's gonna do something, probably. So I love this card. I have it on a very high B-. Mobius?
B-. How often
You can put
are we
energy, right,
triggering
on
this?
yourself.
Sorry?
You can add extra energy if you have energy as well.
Oh, never mind then. Yeah, B-. I don't know why I didn't think about that. I don't know why. I was like, how often if I curve out on this can I get the value from the ETB? And you almost always get it now then. That's a lot more likely now than with the energy. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'm on board.
And it's also when he dies, right?
Yeah. I mean, obviously that's already there, but I was more thinking about like if you got a good curve out. I mean, we shouldn't be complaining because on a 3 mana 3/3 trample on turn 3 is fine. Like there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nice, good, nice,
I'm
good.
just gonna give it a C+.
I'm glad that we're having this talk, because I think putting a +1/+1 counter on with Molfist Revolutionary, especially on curve, is highly optimistic. I think that adding energy is relatively marginal. On death, it matters a little bit more. I also know that I value the double blip cost a lot higher than y'all. I also just remember playing with this card and it being like I would prefer a 2 and a green trample for 3, like 3/3 trample without the ability. Personally, I think that's a stronger Magic card.
I would
have this at a flat C.
Ooh. I mean, for me, a big thing is like we're always talking about curving out. That is the rarest situation of playing a 3 drop. You need them to curve out, but most often you're not gonna be curving out with your 3 drops, with your 2 drops. That is the most often scenario when you play a 2 drop. It is not turn 2. When you play a 3 drop, it is not turn 3. So
You're saying it's more. You're saying it's more often that you're not curving out with
the
them.
most often, yeah, your 3 drops are getting played after turn 3.
I could see that happening. Well,
You play only
the
one
logic
card on
behind
turn
that
3,
is
man.
that you have multiple 3 drops, right? So whichever ones you don't have in your hand and 3 especially, even if you do have one,
Even if you have
the rest are not going to be on curve.
Yeah.
So I understand where you're coming from, yeah.
So this is gonna be fine later on. This is gonna be fine later. Just
On
to
turn
put a-
5, it's not easy to double spell with this either.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's gonna be fine later as well. And when he dies, it's also gonna do something. A lot of the times, like not every time, but it is gonna do something. If you're curving out with this, great. I have a 3/3 trample, amazing. I think that's really solid for this set. But it has so much more upsides on it. And you're never set to play this as a 3/3 that does nothing when it enters the battlefield, isn't it? I'm never set to play it. Sure, double green kind of matters, but I think this card has so many upsides that I'm picking it very highly.
Lola's right, but Scotty's definitely depressed me on this card. I'll go down to C+.
Okay.
But
let's
I'm not
see.
going lower than that because I think the late game potential of this is look, energy is great, but when you have a +1/+1 counter, even one on the board, your opponent's going to have to think about how they block this or remove this or whatever because getting 2 counters and a 3/3 with trample on board, that's a lot of value in one card there. I think that's very good.
Obviously,
3
this
mana.
goes up much higher in Ulgari, but there is a Cobb, sure uncommon. There are a bunch of uncommons, not a bunch, but some. Like there is that double strike thing that if this dies and you had a double strike 4-drop and it gives it a counter, it's like, oh shit. There are good things to do with this, I think.
That 2 mana 1/2 is pretty spicy. There you go. Yeah.
But
That'd be perfect curve out for this.
there are less, of course, 2 mana 1-2 is amazing with this, but there are less things to put that put counters. I think than it was before. I think that's
Yeah.
how it feels.
Armorcraft Judge. 3 colorless, 1 green. For a 3/3, which says when it ETBs, you draw a card for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. I remember not really liking this card. That's all I remember. I just remember that just not being a card that I wanted in most of my decks, even if I had some counters. It just wasn't a very high pick for me at all. So I'm gonna put this on a 4 mana 3/3. I'll give it a low C minus.
Okay. Yeah. Drawing 1 card is honestly, I always felt relatively lucky about that. I think adding +1/+1 counters is, if your deck is built towards it, it's going to be great. Like we might actually want our first ceiling grade for this one, if you want to.
Yeah,
I just wanted to give it a C.
this can have a ceiling. Yeah.
Okay, I'll give it a C
Sure.
minus and then a ceiling grade.
A D minus.
C minus.
Yeah,
D
yeah. I'm also giving it a C minus. This looked so much better than it actually was, but I know in some decks it was really solid, like really solid. But what would be the ceiling for you guys? Would it be B or a B minus? I think it's probably a B minus. The
No,
average
not
ceiling.
B. I don't think it's an error B.
I wanted to put it as C plus ceiling.
No,
Because
I
even in
think-
a counters rich deck, you're going to draw 2 cards like less than a majority of the time.
Pangolin deck.
Yeah, okay. That's nice. You probably just win.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're giving a ceiling, that's like the highest, right? I think
Fine, I
the
can go
highest
with
you can
B
get
minus
out of
ceiling.
this is B minus, yeah. Because, I mean, you're right, but the ceiling is for the deck where most of my
really
creatures
works.
are coming in with counters and stuff, So
I think in a deck where this is gonna be really good, it's gonna be B minus. Yeah. So
4 mana 3/3 draw 2. I'm on
4
board.
mana 3/3 draw 1 is great. Really?
Yeah, but like 4 mana 3/3 draw 1 means that like that's the consistency, right? Issue. For me, if I'm thinking that I'm gonna play this and it's gonna draw me 1, that's because my deck isn't geared well enough towards, you know what I mean? That's not the ceiling scenario, and I'm not playing this unless, well, that's a high statement to make. I think I'm probably not playing this unless I'm regularly or not regularly, but
Like multiple saddle strikes, which are really
yeah,
good in the
stuff like
format.
that.
Which are common, multiple 1/2s maybe that create counters.
I want to be pretty confident
Which are common.
that if I drop this after turn 4, I'm drawing 2 cards off it. Otherwise, I'm not playing.
And 2 best cards of this in the set. 2 best uncommons in the set are putting counters. So I think B minus is a solid ceiling for this. Not a B, definitely not a B.
No.
Mobieus, so you say C plus or B minus?
I'll go with B minus
Okay.
ceiling. But it's just a C minus otherwise.
All right, let's talk about Creeping Mold. 2 green, 4 mana total for a sorcery. Destroy target artifact, creature, or land.
Sorry, creature?
Sorry. Did I
Oh my days.
B. No. Sorry. No, not quite there. Yeah, target artifact, enchantment, or land. Inefficient sorcery speed. That means it's like a D+ for me.
F.
F?
No, I'm not gonna play this for 4 mana. No fucking way I'm gonna play this for 4
D
mana.
plus.
F.
I'm hesitant to give this a D minus, and I'm giving it a D minus. Wait a minute. Are we only doing best of 1 grades right now?
I guess.
Well, then F. But otherwise, it's like a D minus.
So what are you giving it?
Well, F. If we're looking at it from a best of 1 perspective, mostly for the tier list, then it's just an F. You don't play this card. It's double green, 4 mana. No,
Yeah, what the fuck
I don't
is
want
this
it.
shit?
I don't want this card. Go
Yeah.
away. It's too expensive. We barely want to play the 4 mana 3/3 that sometimes draws us a card. I don't want to play this. Go away. Go away, creeping mold. Ew.
Pima Ederseer. For 3 and a green, it's a 3/2 that says when it enters the battlefield, you get an amount of energy equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. So that's at least 3. And it has an activated ability. You can pay 3 energy, target creature blocks this turn if able. So again, this looked better than it actually was before. Because the format was pretty aggressive and the creatures were tapped. And there are also vehicles that can just tap the opposing creature when you have spent the energy for it. So I'm giving it a very generous C- because I think the format is going to be a little bit slower, but I probably is at the D range. It was much better than it looked before. I remember trying to play this card and it just no.
So, are you saying it was much better than it looked?
It was much worse.
Or it
than
looked
looked,
much
sorry.
better than it was?
It looked much better than it was.
Okay, good.
I'm
good.
actually starting it with as a D plus.
Okay. Okay. I'm on a D minus for this. I don't envision myself ever playing this if I have the choice.
So the effects, all this effects, just asking a question. All these effects for you, Mobius, is worse than fetching a land tapped.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Alright, I'm on-
100% would
Okay.
much rather draw a card from my deck, even if it's a land, but it
You're
hits
not
the
drawing
board
it, you're-
immediately. It's there. I'm ramping. I
Ramping,
don't know
yeah.
why I put ramping in quotes. I am actually ramping. I think this is a bad effect. It's kind of playable because it gives you energy as well. 3 energy minimum, right? Because
Yeah.
of itself.
I
They can
mean-
kill it in response.
You
Oh,
can
well,
crew
then
the
it gives you
vehicle.
nothing. But, in general, if you don't have another creature and they don't kill it or whatever, it gives you 3 energy, which is fine. You can make something block 1 time. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Don't
It is
like
just it is kind of weak for 4, but it does can give a lot of energy.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'm giving it not an F.
You can crew a vehicle that's bigger than this and then get more energy, but yeah, it's all kind of niche effects.
Don't like it.
So
What do you
give
think,
it-
Scotty?
What do you give the land fetching?
I think you gave it a D+ as well. Maybe a D.
That's fine.
Let me go check.
I think this is better.
I gave that a C+, but I need to put that down to a C, and I need to put the Energy Duder, the 2/1, down to a C, probably.
Oh no, you gave it a C-, Wild Wanderer. You gave it a C-, Lola.
Really?
Wild Wanderer, yeah.
No way. I'm giving it a D plus.
He probably got influenced by my grade being so
Why I
fucking
give
high.
it? Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
Give it a D plus. Like what the fuck?
I'm on a C for that. Definitely, after seeing the rest of the 4 drops, I'd rather just play a 4 with power. But C's still fine for that, I think.
Okay. Did you change my grade, Scotty?
Yep. Of course, take a look at them afterwards in case I probably missed some of them.
Oh
a bit
yeah,
late
I'm gonna have to go through anyway to do the
Yeah,
Fs. But
through the apps. Arborback Stomper. Oh, okay. Arborback Stomper. Green, 5 mana total for a beast, which is a 5/4. It has trample. And when it enters the battlefield, you gain 5 life.
I love it.
Gosh, like look at this compared to that poor white card that you have to work so hard to gain 5 life. This one just gives it to you. Gives it to you for free. And honestly, like the 5/4 trample is good body. This is a very strong 5-drop, but funnily enough, this is not the best 5-drop in green.
Not even close. This is
It's
not
so
even
close to the best 5-drop
close.
green, which is ridiculous.
This is like
I'm playing
complete
this.
garbage compared to the best 5-drop in
Well,
green.
I don't know about that, but I have this at a B-.
Oh, I think
very
this
good.
is complete garbage compared to the 5-drop in best 5-drop in green.
Okay.
But it's.
I'm assuming we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, but yeah.
It's up next. It's up next. Oh no, it's
Okay.
up in 2 cards. Whatever.
But I think this is a really good card.
Okay.
And that's why all the other 5-drops are gonna go probably down and down in green.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to load them as well.
So no, we are not talking about Gear Hulk. We are talking about uncommons. No. Gear Hulk is nothing. Gear Hulk doesn't exist. Uncommons and commons are what matter in draft. So funny thing is, Scotty said, this is a fine body against 5 life. You have to work so much for a 5/3 flyer in white to get 5. But usually 5/4 trample or 4/3 flying. 4/3 flying is so much better. It's just so much better. But funny, in this set, the 4/3 flyer for 5 is not as good. At least it wasn't, because you kind of want to race really, and it's fine to have a ground creature attacking, or this can actually block. The 4/3 flyer doesn't really block well, so your 5-drops kind of want to block as well. And this, not only that it blocks, it gets you back in the race, or it shuts down the racing possibility for the opponent. I'm on a super solid B- for this as well. If it was not a 5-drop with a similar effect and good stats, a lot higher. B probably, but B-, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The art looks like it should have reach for me, but that's just a neither here nor there. B-. I agree with everything you said.
But the reach with the vines?
Yeah, look how and it's massive, right? It
is
looks like it's a
yeah.
massive creature.
It looks like it's below something.
Yeah, but
It looks
that's like a
like-
massive like.
I
Wait,
don't know. It
am I still
doesn't
in
look that
Ikoria?
massive,
No,
actually.
maybe. I don't know.
It's below something. We don't know how big that thing is.
Okay.
Very, very important things we're discussing right now.
Yes. You? Yeah, Lola.
Yeah. What did you give it, Mobieus? Sorry.
Same as you guys. B-.
Monsters
Just
Onslaught
solid.
for 3 and double green. It's a sorcery that says Monsters Onslaught deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control as you cast this spell. This looked completely busted. Because this is pretty freaking... This would be pretty freaking good in most sets. Again, it is kind of slow for 5 for Kaladesh. It is kind of slow, but you can snipe so many things, but also you need a creature there. Yeah, 5 CMC, but conditional removal, but I mean, you gotta have something like a... If you have a 2-drop, then problem. If you have something that's 3 power, kind of problem. 4 power, that's where it gets better. I still have a high hopes in green for this card. So, yeah, it's as you cast this. You can't get blown out. You cannot get blown out. Opponents try to blow me out so many times when I cast this. And I didn't cast it that much, so, I mean, you always try to blow out with this, like, haha, I got you, it's a rabbit bite. No. So, I'm starting it as a C+. I think it's gonna be fine in this set. I think this set is gonna be a little bit slower.
Yeah.
What's the grade?
C+.
C+,
I think this
from
this
Lola.
could go
Okay.
up to a B- even. I believe.
I'm gonna start it on a C. I'm on the same thought line as you, but I think on average, 5 mana, remove 1 creature, and I have to have a creature. Nah, I'm starting this on a C, and that's me being optimistic.
This
Okay,
card
I'm
was
optimistic.
a trap.
Nothing else to add. But I'll go C+.
This card was a trap, but I think it's gonna play out better in remastered version of Kaladesh.
All right, is it me?
Here
Ridge.
we go. Mobius.
Oh, is this the one?
Enjoy.
Ridge Scale Tusker, 3 colorless, 2 green for a 5/5 Pangolin Beast. When Ridge Scale Tusker enters the battlefield, put a +1/+2 counter on each other. What? On each other creature you control? What?
And it's still a 5/5.
Oh, that's not. What? That's not even like proliferate or something like that. It's just everything gets a counter. Huh. That's very good.
Very good. This is not okay. This
I think
is a
I just
mythic
give this a B
uncommon. This is
plus
a
and I'm
mythic.
done.
The,
Oof.
Mobieus, remember.
If you have 2 creatures, this gives you 7/7 worth of stats for a 5, and the other 2 are attacking that turn. Maybe, I don't know, but dude, that's so much value. I'll start this on a B plus.
Just one thing to think about. If you crew the vehicle, then you can play this and crew the vehicle in
Yep,
response.
crew your vehicles. Your creatures and your vehicles will get counters. Yes,
Yeah. So you can crew the vehicle with this.
yes, that's true. Also, I mean that's true for a lot of these ETB effects.
But
If you have
especially
a
for this one.
vehicle, you can just crew them immediately and get the effect on them.
But there is not any really effects that you can get on them, right? This is the one.
Well, it's just Dawn Feather Eagle and the Pima junk card that we
Yeah.
saw earlier that you can get more energy.
There is a 1/2, but it's gonna be hard unless you have Sky Ski.
Yeah.
That's gas. No,
Why
no,
you
you have
gotta
to
say
target
it
it. You
like
have to
that?
target it. You can't do that. You have to target it when it comes into play. So you can't actually do that.
Wait, what?
You have to choose the target, so you won't have a chance to crew it to make it a creature to make it a valid target for Kujar Seed Sculptor.
Ah, okay.
It's even worse.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. I
I'd
thought
be
you were
really
talking
into
about this
that
card for a
otherwise.
second. Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh.
I actually think this is a B plus as well.
Yep.
Normally B pluses are like big card advantage swing engines, but I think that this gives enough stats and just is enough of a board impact to sort of mimic that sort of effect. B plus.
Kind of want to give this an A minus.
I mean, this card's not okay. Whatever. Whatever. B plus, A
Yeah,
minus.
the card is not okay at uncommon.
I'm
right?
first picking this.
This is so fucking strong.
I mean, if we all agree, I'm happy to go up to A minus, but that's like bomb level territory.
But
We
I
gotta be
think
little
this
bit
is a
careful
bomb
with-
level territory because there are servos in this set, right? So the servos are also gonna get +1/+1.
Is it a bomb if we play it and we have 0 other creatures?
Like you better.
That's just a question. Is it? No.
No.
Nah, I think B plus. I'm gonna stick to B plus. I
Me
mean,
too.
the card's not okay. We agree on that. It's good.
No, the
It's very
highest
good.
rated card. This is not the highest rated uncommon. The highest rated uncommon we have is.
Show me the highest rated uncommon we have so far.
Okay,
What?
let me show it
No,
to you.
what? No, it's not really.
What?
There was a higher rated uncommon.
You rated it the same Mobius rated as an F. This Mobius is the highest.
Oh
rated.
yeah, sorry, I forgot. Yeah, no, you're right.
Untethered
Sorry,
Express.
Untethered
I remember
yeah.
this card.
Yeah.
Yeah, this card is
I
wrong.
remember this card. This is a fun card. Crew 1. Ooh, why is this back in? Surely they could have decided not to put this in the set.
Yeah, they could have.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot about the train.
I don't know where this is in, but it is. And I don't know where
Surely-
Pangling is in as well, but it is.
But surely they could have. Yeah, that's just a A minus for me. The train. The train is busto.
Yeah, I gave it
The
a
train
train
is
A minus.
stupid.
Because
It goes in every single deck as well. It's
Exactly.
stupid.
You take it.
It's
it
stupid.
goes-
I remember hating that. So you know what? I know now why my memories of Kaladesh are so fragmented, because I blocked most of it out. Most of it was a nightmare, especially playing against these stupid ass vehicles that you could do nothing against. I hate it.
Well,
I
they
hate
took
it
out
so much.
Freighter. They took out
Mobius,
Freighter.
This is
Which
this
is
the
good.
one that they didn't add in. A 3
Oh,
mana
no.
5/4 trample.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you had a combination of Express.
I
and
remember it.
A
Yeah, it's
common,
coming back to me.
common.
I don't want it.
This was common.
I don't want it.
Yeah,
Oof.
that was common. At least
So
these
at
are
least they haven't
uncommon.
played Renegade Freighter. I remember somebody tweeted about this, and I was like, "Ooh, that's nice. What did that do again?" And now I remember, and it's like, okay, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah, I think this
Okay,
deserves the Express deserves a bigger grade from me. I gave it an A minus because in every deck you play it, and it's probably gonna be the strongest card in every deck.
Yeah. It probably. I mean, I'm gonna stick to an A minus. I don't want to give this stupid card anymore.
I'm
Then
gonna
it
give
already
Tusker
has.
like a high B plus, very high B plus.
Yeah. Go ahead, Scotty. Sorry.
No, we're on to rares and mythics now. Where do you want to start?
Where do we want to start? It
Start
doesn't
back
really
at
matter
white.
since they're rares and mythics, right? Whatever.
All right, let's go to white.
whatever. We can continue with green since we are on green now.
Okay, sure, we'll do green.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Whatever. Green rares and mythics. Let's go.
Okay. Or we can do in the same order. We can go in the same order. I don't know.
What? I'm already on green. Just
we are
follow
green,
the
we are
spreadsheet.
green. Okay, we are green.
Who's
alright.
reading this one? Scotty?
So we are starting with the rares, or we just have them all bundled together?
Rares and mythics. Rares and mythics.
Okay,
whatever.
rares and mythics together now. These cards do not define how strong a color is, everybody. These cards you are gonna get, if you get them, you're happy. If you see them against you, some of them, you're unhappy. But you do not think about them, you do not play around them in 99% of the situations. In draft, you just never think about this. In games, there are certain situations where you're so much ahead on the board that you're actually taking rares into account. But let's not go over that. So yeah, do not think that a color is strong because rares or mythics are strong, because that is just not true. So okay, I just had to say this, sorry.
All right, I guess I'll read this one. Greenbelt Rampager, green. It's an elephant. It's a 3/4. When Greenbelt Rampager enters the battlefield, pay 2 energy. If you can't, return it to its owner's hand, and you get green. So let's walk through this. If you have
You
a green
get
on turn
energy,
1.
not green.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you get energy. My bad.
Because that would be crazy.
It's free.
Infinite ETB. No.
Okay, so yeah. Let's walk through this. If you have a forest on turn 1, you play it on turn 1, you get 1 energy. And then if you don't have another forest on turn 2 to make whatever energy, you drop this on turn 2, it bounces back to your hand. Now you have 2 energy. Then finally on turn 3, you drop it and it sticks to the battlefield, right? Which is pretty good. That's like pretty good, except it took up basically your entire turn 1 and turn 2. Turn 1 doesn't matter as much, but turn 2 could be pretty impactful. So you're kind of giving up your turn 2 play to play this on turn 3 if you only have 1 forest. If you have only one forest. If you have 2 forests,
That's true.
if you have 2 forests, which is not super likely, then you can drop it on turn 2. Bam, congratulations. That's very, 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 very strong.
Very strong.
That being said, it's relatively inconsistent in that regard. Later in the game, if you have 3 green sources, you can just go ahead and drop this right away. It's more clunky. If you sort of spell it out that way, it definitely is a lot more clunky than it looks. And I'm not incredibly hot on this. I think overall, well, actually, I say I'm not incredibly hot. I'm going to give it a pretty good grade. I think overall it's like.
Let's wait to see a grade.
I think overall this is like a C+ for me.
Oof, it's a B- for me, like easy B-. I always love this card. I love it. And I think having 2 forests is not that weird on turn 2.
I mean, sometimes you won't.
But I think
you
this
know.
is
The
not
percentage
that
is like, for turn 2 specifically, that's like 30% difference in terms of having it or not.
Oh, it's also a repeatable energy battery if you never pay. That is something to take account. Yeah. If you can spend it somewhere, it is a repeatable.
It says if you can't, right? So you have to have less than 2 when you play.
Yeah. But if you can spend it, right?
You just use it. Use it.
Yeah, use 1 energy a turn.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Sure. Or 2. I don't know.
That is a small
yeah,
upside.
I'm on a B- as well. Do you got anything
I
else to
love
say,
this
Lo?
card.
Like you could fiddle this with long tusk cubs specifically. Like I remember that being a thing in standard. But you can do the unlimited long tusk cub. You just dump 2, and then when you have 2, you dump it into long tusk cub, and then you do 2 again. Yeah.
Yeah. My memories of this set are coming back more now that we're looking at the res for some reason. I don't know why. It's weird. Go ahead, Lola.
Ovia
Great name,
Pashiri, Sage Lifecrafter. For a green, you have a 1/2 that has 2 activated abilities. It's legendary. Everything is artificial. So it's 2 and a green. For 2 and a green and a tap, you create 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. For 4 and a tap, you create an XX colorless construct artifact creature token. Where X is the number of creatures you control. I remember this card being really powerful and not a trap at all. This was crazy good. This was just
How would
crazy.
this be a trap?
I actually
It's
don't know.
expensive. It's low stats.
Because
but it's
it's
one
like a
mana.
low stats and ability is expensive if you use it just once, right? But you're not gonna use it just once. This card is crazy good, but I'm giving it a high B+. I don't think it falls into complete bomb territory. Because the set is very fast and sometimes you're not gonna have time to do this. But it is very, very powerful. It's just very powerful.
Yeah, I can start on B+. That makes sense to me. I remember this card being annoying. Not like bordering on, oh, I've lost the game when they drop it, but definitely something you had to deal with, so sure.
I guess I'm like the semi-hater for the day. I'm just on a B, but I pretty much agree with everything that you're saying. All you need to do is activate the 5 once, and that's usually just like enough to be worth 5 mana. The 3 mana make a servo is not good, right? If you do that on turn 3, yeah, it's better than doing nothing, but you're not happy about it. But on turn 5, if you usually use the 5 mana ability, it usually makes a sizable body where you're like, oh, this is kind of just like a cast a card, and that's pretty good.
And it's going to get bigger every turn after, right?
No.
No.
XX. Wait.
It stays.
It stays the same power as when you enter the battlefield, right?
No,
Yes.
I'm saying every subsequent activation,
Oh, yeah.
your creature is just going to get bigger.
Yeah.
So you're going to make a 4/4, 5/5, 6/6, etc.
Yeah.
It's just going to get bigger unless they start removing your shit.
Assuming they don't die. Yep.
Yeah. Or assuming this doesn't die. That's a lot of assumptions. I think the 3 mana ability is expensive, but I think thing to remember about that is if you're holding up mana and you need to double spell, whatever, stuff like that, you know what I mean? You can activate that instead. It's nice. It's I think really flexible to have that there, and it's definitely not nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
It's
you can
really good
sometimes
to
go
have
turn 4. You make this. You create a 1/1, and then next turn you create an XX.
it.
I mean,
don't
I think
you can
okay.
do.
Well, just a small note for gameplay wise. I think cards like this, especially in a fast format like Kaladesh, if your opponent's crashing in with you, clearly an aggressive deck with like 2/1s, I don't think you want to be like, oh, I'm just going to hold my Ovia and eventually win the game with it. You can just trade it off. And that's perfectly fine place to be.
Yeah.
And that's fine, That's there's the floor, which is fine.
I mean, the floor is it blocks your opponent's servos.
No, the floor is it trades off.
Oh yeah, sure. That's lower. Sorry. What I meant was on a base as a baseline. I'm like a 1/2 body is already great.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean,
You know what I mean with the
Yeah,
abilities.
it's fine if it has all of these effects. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
This is me. I don't remember.
That's,
There's a Mobius. I think it's
I
Mobius.
think it's me. Heroic Intervention, 1 colorless, 1 green, instant, permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. This looks a lot better than it is. It just looks a lot better than it is. I don't know what else to say about it. It's not as bad as a fog, but it's close. I'm just gonna go ahead and I know I was higher on this effect last time. I'm just not as high on it this time. It's like a D. That's what I'm starting it. I'm not a big fan of this card anymore.
Yeah,
All right, I thought we were gonna fight about this one again. I'm on a D2.
D. Not very good.
No, Scotty, I've learned. I remember last time I was higher. I was like, you guys are crazy.
Yeah.
I remember being like a proponent, a big voice for this card. I was like, come on, it's not that hard to get good use out of this. It is. Turns out, 2 mana, holding up, hexproof / indestructible. It's a lot of... Lazotep plating is 100 times better than this. But yeah, it's just not feasible, dude. 2 mana is a lot to be holding up for no reason.
And you can be blown out.
What if they don't do anything? What if they just play a creature and be like, I'll pass?
And what if indestructible is not enough? Because you're not gonna have 10 creatures on board versus their 10 creatures.
Yeah, they're still getting a bunch of damage in.
Yeah.
You're blocking one, maybe eating one, but you still wasted a card to eat it. So, yeah.
This is always a trap for people like Mobius.
Yep, 100%.
But it is because you imagine that situation, and I think
always imagine it at a
everybody
good, not even a higher situation. I just imagine it as they attack with 2 creatures or we attack with 2 creatures. There's a combat of 4 creatures. They lose their 2 creatures, and you keep your 2 creatures.
Yeah,
In which case, it's perfectly fine.
It's amazing. It's super
the amount of times that happens is minuscule compared to the amount of times you're just holding it.
Yeah.
Praying that something happens. You
Very
haven't used your
minuscule.
mana efficiently because you have to keep up 2 mana. It just, you know what I mean? It just
And
doesn't work.
we can see
It
like
just
most
doesn't work.
people are voting for C minus, C plus, C, then we B minus.
That's where I would be. I like C plus, etc. before, and now I'm like, no. You'll learn. If you start playing this card, it's a decent pick, 8. Well, even then, are you going to play it? Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably
It's not a
not.
decent pick 8. I don't think it's a decent pick 8.
I mean, you'll pick it if it's free or whatever, but even if it's a late pick, but you probably will just play a regular combat trick over this.
Yeah.
Wasn't this in another set?
Exactly.
Exactly, it was. It was in.
M21.
There you go.
It can
And that's
work.
probably where I was a bit higher on it, or
This is so
I
much
tried
better
to be
in a
higher on it, and I
sideboard.
was just wrong.
In a sideboard, it's so much better.
Yeah. This is 100% a sideboard card, and by 100% I mean like it becomes slightly more playable.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh.
Mobieus. Scotty.
Rishkar Pima Renegade, 2 green, legendary creature, elf druid, 2/2. When Rishkar Pima Renegade enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Each creature you control with a counter on it has tap to add green. Rishkar is bananas on curve out. You can put the counter on itself. Hey, did y'all know that this is actually a reprint for Arena? Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Like who knows where cards come from anywhere? This was already in Historic.
Yeah, they
Oh.
released it separately or whatnot.
This is in Jumpstart randomly, but so yeah, all you need is a 2-drop and then drop this, and then all of a sudden your opponent's got dropped
2/3/3s
because
probably.
you've dropped 4 power on turn 3, and one of them has haste, which is ridiculous. It enables attacks, ramps you somehow as well. This card is absolutely bananas. I think this is I'm actually on a B+ for this one.
I love this card, yeah. It's the floor is you get a 3/3, which is good in Kaladesh. That can also ramp you.
Yeah.
And it's so much better to put counters than just be a straight up 3/3. Of course, unless they're gonna try to blow you
In
out.
response or movie, yeah.
This is so good. I'm still not on a B+. I mean, now I'm thinking about, did I give was my grade for the other green card too high?
The 5-drop.
No, the 3-drop.
Which of the 3-drop?
The 1-drop, sorry, the 1-drop.
I mean, I think Rishkar is better than Ovia.
Cause yeah, I think it is, but no, this is a B+. This card is so good in this set. I'm thinking about too much about that. This would be not as busted in some other sets. No,
Why are you thinking
this
about
is
that?
at most a 3/3. But yeah, this is just a B+. I love this card. It's just so good in this set.
Yeah, it can't make itself a 4/4 chat. It's up to 1 counter.
Yeah.
1 counter on up to 2 target creatures. So you can't put 2 on 1. But yeah, B+, easy. This and the previous, the 1-drop rare are different cards. So like they play different roles. It's not the same at all. So
Somebody
I wouldn't worry about giving him the same grade or whatever. I think this card is also a B+, and this is one of those that kind of is bringing some of my PTSD back. I remember just being like,
Okay,
this is a
it's-
blowout on turn 3, which is annoying. Like your opponent just starts attacking out of nowhere. Yeah, so what? Like, then they have ramp for next turn. It's just silly. It's silly. It's silly.
Yeah, imagine this. Imagine somebody said Vining Constrictor. Like, imagine Vining Constrictor into the Pangolian. That would be
Then
lovely.
you can do that.
Yeah,
I think even without drawing any more lands, you can just play the Pangolin the next turn anyway.
yeah. That's crazy. But this into Pangolin, sorry, you don't need Pangolin. Just if you have Vining Constrictor and played into this, you probably won the game. It's probably just over. But that's a dream, right? But still, it's
Yeah.
an uncommon. Wildest Dreams. For an X and a green, you return X targets cards from your graveyard to your hand. Exile Wildest Dreams. So, XX means you have to pay
3?
what? You
3?
have to pay double
Oh, yeah, sorry.
what the X is.
Yeah.
For those that don't know. So if you want to return 1 card, it's 5 mana. Sorry, it's 3 mana. If you want to return 2 cards, it's 5 mana. 3 cards, it's 7 mana, and so on. It's always +2/+2. F.
Yeah.
Completely unplayable. This is unbelievably unplayable, and in a fast set like Kaladesh, you are losing if you play this card, unless you are usually just losing when you play this card, and this is probably an easiest F I had to give to a card in this set.
I think that's mean. I agree with you on everything except the grade. I agree on the comments mostly. I think there are scenarios where you can play this, and decks that can play this, especially in green. So I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna start this on a D plus.
Okay.
I'm on a D. I don't think this card is good. Soul Salvage is much better, but obviously different color. Can get back removal spells.
It can
Stuff
get
like that.
removal spells. Yes.
Anything. It can get anything.
Anything,
Which
that's
is
nice.
it's just his target card. Yeah, Barlaget is infinitely better than this because Barlaget is a land.
It's a land, yeah. So, but it is just.
Yeah, you know what? D plus is probably too high, but I'll stick with it for now, and it's
think
probably
it
going to go
is-
down to a D.
I think
It's
it
not
is-
an F. Come on.
I think it's too. Okay, I guess I can give it a D minus, like a low D minus, like super low D minus. But it's the problem is it is hard to use cards like this in a set like Kaladesh. It is so hard. Easiest F to D minus. It is so hard. I'm gonna give it a D minus to start with, I guess, because maybe the set is a bit slower. But if a
Yeah,
set is
you've been
fast,
saying that yourself as well. The set might be a bit slower.
and still very fast. The set is still
Yeah,
gonna be pretty
still one of
fast.
the faster sets. I agree with
A
that.
D minus minus.
You can't do that.
This is so. It's a big problem if you're using three.
Just stick with F if you hate it that much.
I'm gonna give it a D minus because I might play it.
I'm gonna play it.
Sioux had said a good point. Not about underrating it, but but about like if your deck is amazing, then I guess you can play it.
I've played this card a lot. I played
Really?
this card a lot. Yeah. I put this card in my deck very often. And it wasn't good, but I have
It's
a pretty
playable.
good feel for. I have
Yeah.
a pretty good feel, at least in old Aether Revolt Kaladesh.
I guess it is not straight F. Okay, I made a mistake. Super low D minus.
All right, next. Oh, I remember this beast. Bristling Hydra. 2 colorless, 2 green, 4/3. It's a Hydra, and when it ETBs, you get 3 energy, and you can pay counter, +1/+1 counter, and it gains hexproof until end of turn. Ooh, baby, this is hard to remove. If you got any kind of energy generation, this is just busto.
Nah, energy
So at
generation
base,
doesn't do anything for
what
me.
is this? A 4 mana 5/4, which is super playable. Super playable, right? If you have any kind of other energy generation, unless it's unable to attack, I'm just gonna hold that energy for removal, etc. So the B plus. I don't know if this is A minus or B plus,
Whoa.
but I want to see what you guys think.
Okay, Scotty first.
I think this card is very good. Obviously, it's difficult to remove. In combat, you can tussle with it reasonably well, unless you have a ridiculous amount of energy production, doesn't have evasion, but it's going to be overstated for basically any situation it lands in. I think this card is extremely strong. Even then, I'm going to give it a pretty high B.
Yeah, I felt like you were going to land it. It's weird how I have a better feel for what grades you guys are going to give than for what my grades should be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But okay, so we see a lot of A minuses. Some are changing now. Even Xioxide, which I consider a really good drafter, is giving an A minus to an A. I don't know if you read our tier list, Xioxide, like what the legend is, because
Yeah, it needs to win the game.
A minus is a bomb. This card is so not a bomb. This card is like there's not a single thing on this card that is making it a bomb. Yes,
Yeah, it's just hard to remove and decent stat line. So
it is hard to remove, but then again, so Mob says something about energy generation. Sure, there are some nice green cards that generate energy, but there are 2 cards that actually make energy in green that are fine to use with this. Anything else, if you're generating energy and using it with this, you basically need a card and a half, which is pretty bad. Like dumping your energy here is not as good as it looks. This, I think everybody coming with an A- grades remembers this card in Constructed being completely busted, completely stupid, can't play against it at all. If you're a control deck, like what the hell are you gonna do? Like you need to use 2 removal spells on this in the same turn. Instant speed, one of them has to be instant speed. So this was a huge problem for Constructed. It is not even close to being that is unlimited. Yes, you really want this to get you really want someone to try to remove this. You're not wasting any mana, nothing. Just 3 energy that it came in play with it. And that's what it's gonna be most of the time. You're gonna use it once, because it is not as good to use 3 energy to just give a counter on this. But there are times when it's gonna matter. Like with the 4-drop that suddenly becomes better if you have this card in play. But that's a very wishful scenario, because Kaladesh is all about creatures. Your opponents are gonna have creatures that can block 4 toughness, because that's what it's gonna be. That can block a 4 toughness attacker. So 5/4, really good. Creates energy so you can use it somewhere else if you want, or here. It does gain hexproof to block 1 removal, maybe 2, probably not, because nobody's gonna use removal on this and then use another removal unless they're in such a desperate situation. But it's probably just game losing.
Yeah.
And it is not a pressing concern. Like it is not that pressing.
I think it's fairly pressing if your opponent plops down a 4/3/5/4.
No, I don't think it is. To use removal on it, to block it and kill it.
Yeah. Blocking, you have
But-
to. You can't ignore a.
But I didn't
stat
finish the
line
sentence. The
on
sentence
Dreadful.
was, it is not a pressing concern to use removal on this. Because it is not flying. It doesn't even have trample. It is not
that
menace.
sucks.
So, it is a great creature. It has more stats than it should. It has a really nice effect. It is not a bomb in any aspect. There is nothing here that makes it a bomb. It's a B. It's a B. It is not even a B+. It's a B. It is not even a 2-for-1. It's B. I love this card. It's amazing. A B.
Okay.
Mobieus, you didn't finish your grade, right?
Oh,
I did finish my grade.
B+
Well,
for Mobius.
I was like, I'm started on a B+. If anything, I would like to go higher, but you're right. It's not a bomb. But I think this card is pretty bonkers. I think 4 mana 5/4 and potential to just grow. Remember, you're not just giving it hexproof with the 3 energy that you're holding up or using on it. It is getting bigger every time. You know
Hey,
what I mean?
Yeah?
Lola. Pangolin or Bristling Hydra? Pack one, pick one.
I mean,
what?
always Hydra. Always Pangolin.
Oh, Pangolin.
Yeah, I would
easy,
Pangolin as
easy,
well.
easy.
Yep.
Yeah,
This is
always
nothing.
Pangolin.
This is nothing.
You know what? I'll go down to a B just for that because they can be in the same pack.
They can. I mean, they can.
Yeah, this is a rare and that's an uncommon. So
I mean,
that one should be rated higher just because.
But
With
that
the
is not
rares,
true,
it doesn't
Mobius.
matter if they're too rare. Huh?
That doesn't make sense. There are certain B+ cards that are always going to be better than other B+ cards, but still are not A-. And that's the thing for every single grade. Because we don't have 300 grades. We have 12 or something. So
Sorry, I didn't. Did I say something? Or was that to chat?
did you say? So, yeah. You said because Pangolin is always better, then this should be a B. Do you understand
Yeah,
what I'm
because
getting
the
at?
grade difference isn't that much. What you said made sense because initially I was playing with the thought of is this a bomb, A-, etc. And you obviously explained it very well. And you're right. It's a B+, B. And I'm happy to
You
go
don't
down to a
understand
B.
what I was trying to say now. Like, if a card in, I thought like, did you just say that? Maybe I misunderstood. Did you say
Mm-hmm.
that, like, a card cannot be strictly better if it has exactly the same grade?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, misunderstanding. I misunderstood.
I said, just to make it clearer, because I think this is B+ territory. I think just to make it clearer that the Pangolin is definitely better, because our grades B+, because they can be in the same pack. It's just that we can't give you a B++, man.
Wait, what do you mean they can't? They can. Yeah, they can.
They can be in the same pack. So I just wanted to make it clear on the tier list. That's all. They are both good cards in the B territory.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I wanted
I
to
completely misunderstood.
Definitely make it super clear that I would always take the pangolin over this. That's
Yeah.
all.
I definitely misunderstood. I definitely misunderstood.
No problem. It's all good.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you were responding to somebody in chat. That's why I asked.
No. I completely misunderstood. I thought
No.
if that's a B+, this cannot be a B+, but yeah. Okay, I get it.
I mean, this is a B+ if you got lots of energy generation, easy clap. You know what I mean? It's going to be annoying.
It
All right.
gets better
Who's
in
reading
certain
this?
decks,
I can read it.
Okay.
Nissa, Vital Force, 3, green, Legendary Planeswalker, Nissa. Has 5 starting loyalty, +1 ability. Untap target land you control until end of next turn. It becomes a 5/5 elemental creature token with haste. Or 5/5 elemental creature with haste. It's still a land. -3, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. -6, you get an emblem with whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. So this drops down as 6. As 6 loyalty. That's beefy. It creates a blocker that's a 5/5. That's beefy. It stays until your next turn so it can block. It doesn't have reach or anything like that, but it makes a 5/5 and it starts with 6 loyalty. Super huge. This card's a bomb. A-.
Okay, so this card is amazing. This card is absolutely amazing. So you just pay, you just do +1, and the next turn,
You're winning.
and it blocks. And next turn, you just do a -6. You can do that. I have done that a lot of the times when I play this card. Just +1, next turn, -6.
-6, yeah. And you're always drawing a card.
Yeah.
Your lands are never dead anymore,
Yeah.
which is huge in
Huge.
limited. You're right, yeah.
And a 5/5 is a pretty big blocker for to protect it on that turn. And if you can do it, +1 2 times, and then -6, and then just let's go. This is A- for me, really strong. I think it is. I think it's up there with the uncommon artifact we have.
Which uncommon artifact?
The Unearthed Express.
Oh. Yeah, I'd pick Nissa over it because Nissa's
I'm not
waifu
sure.
and that's not a train, but I probably shouldn't. The train is probably a higher pick than this.
Yeah. If you're green already, then I have a consideration. I'm probably picking Nissa. But even when I'm green, sometimes it is the train. And if I'm not green, I gotta think hard. What am I gonna do? It's probably gonna be a train. But yeah, it's up there with a train. That's how powerful the train is.
I'm gonna have to add a train sound effect, aren't I?
Yeah, good idea.
Choo choo. Oh shit! I'm gonna add a Thomas the Tank Engine sound effect. Even better. Pack one, pick one, train over Nissa? Yeah, probably. I mean, I wouldn't because I like Planeswalkers and I like
it's just too much fun
playing
to play
with yeah. But the train is, if you're playing competitively, I think the train's probably better.
I choose you. Yeah.
Yeah, so I agree with what you said. It's an A-. Who said it in chat? Because that was my first thought when I saw this Nissa. Pink Pants is, this Nissa does not shake the world. Well, why has this been nerfed? I guess ever since they released Nissa Who Shakes the World, they had to make Nissa weaker now. So they're like, let's not make them permanent lands.
Wait,
let's not give them vigilance.
Are you talking
you know?
about like this has not been nerfed? This has been buffed because this came before the
I know.
other Nissa.
I'm being funny.
Huh?
Look, just play with it. Play along. I'm being funny.
This was buffed.
Obviously, Nissa Who Shakes the World came out after and was way more power creep than this. I'm just being funny. Come on, guys. Now my joke isn't funny anymore because I had to explain it. Anyway, A- great card.
Okay, we all agree. Okay.
It's British humor, mate.
Okay, let's go. I didn't even understand that was a joke.
Lola, read it.
Fuck. Verdurous Gear Hulk, is that correct?
Verdurous.
Close enough.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, close
Verdurous.
Okay. For 3 and double green,
BRB.
it's a trample for 4. Oh, such weak stats. But when it enters the battlefield, distribute 4+1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures you control. So if you want it, you can get it. 8/8 trample. That's the floor. Probably, because it can be removed with some removal. This is crazy. This is the best card we saw so far. I'm just gonna give it an A+. Pangolin, man. Okay, fuck me. Like, I just gotta say one thing. Like, Pangolin is not that far away from this. Does Pangolin have to be A-? Huh?
Oh, are you talking to me?
Yeah, are we taking any B+ card over the Pangolin, over the Tusker? Any B+ card?
No, I still have it as a B+.
This is better than a Pangolin, but it is not infinitely better. It's better. It's better. No, this is better than Pangolin in every way. But
What?
this is better than Pangolin in every way, but it is not infinitely better. I kind of want to give Pangolin an A-, man. But okay, give this an A+.
Hey, we said that, and you were like, no. Actually, I was against giving Pangolin a
You
bomb
were
rating
against
as well.
it, I think.
I'm not gonna lie. I still am.
So
It is probably the highest B+ though, isn't it? Yeah. Have we got this at an A? Because I like this at an A.
A. Nothing to add.
What did you give it, Lola?
A+.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say plus then.
I
No,
gave
he
it
did give
yeah.
an A+.
I gave
What?
it.
Yeah, it's an
No.
A+.
What if they kill both creatures in response? What if you put all the counters on one other creature and they kill
Give
both
Pangolin
creatures?
A-. Give Pangolin A- from me. Pangolin is A-.
Lies. Lies.
Pangolin
Pangolin
is
is
A-. Give it
not
A-
as
from
good
me.
as this. It's not. It's just not the same.
I'm picking it as A-.
Verdurous Gearhulk is amazing. All the Gearhulks were busted, right? If I remember correctly, none of them was bad
None of them were bad, but not everyone was bomb.
as broken. The blue one, the green one were the most broken.
Yeah.
Oh, and the black
the
one was
black
pretty good.
The black one was up there with them. Yeah.
Red
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
worst.
Red is the worst.
I don't even remember what the red one does.
Damage.
It's just some damage, yeah. It's a big first striker, so that's
Which
also
one are we
fine.
missing? White? Again, was the white one useless? I feel like it was.
No, wait, what do I can do? It killed some.
The white one is the Cataclysm. Cataclysmic Gearhulk, the false sweeper.
Oh. Okay, not bad.
Okay, so
Yeah, this is just an A.
give it
so
an A
move on.
from me. But what is gonna get A+ if this doesn't get A+? Nothing.
Cure Best of Sea God.
I'm giving Sky Sovereign an A+.
What now?
I'm giving Sky Sovereign an A+. Just spoilers.
Look,
Lola
I
asked the
forgot.
question.
What is Sky Sovereign?
Oh, okay.
What is Sky Sovereign?
The 6/5 vehicle that you can crew and it lightning bolts something whenever it attacks.
Oh yeah, that's better. Okay, give this an A, but give a Pangolin A- from me if you didn't, please.
I'm sticking with my initial grade, which is A.
Yeah, A is fine.
Let's talk about Rishkar's expertise. 4 green, 6 mana for a sorcery. Draw cards equal to the greatest power amongst creatures you control. You may cast a spell with converted mana cost 5 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. So, trick is you can draw like 5 or 6 cards, ideally, and then you can play one of those for free from your hand. It's not bad, but it's kind of expensive, and it requires you having a board already. Pretty big knocks against it. Even so, this card is a card that has pretty big impact, even if you draw 4, right? That's pretty good. If you draw 3, that's a lot less good, but 4+ is pretty solid. All in all, I have this at a C+.
I mean, 3 is really good because you also play a card from your hand.
And if you draw one, a lot less likely the less cards you draw to
Yeah.
play something good.
I think the biggest thing for me with this card is that no matter how many cards you draw, you can always play a CMC 5 or less from your hands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't depend on the amount of cards you draw.
It's just a spell. It's anything, right? So that's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I see people giving a minus. This was a big trap. This was a really big trap in the previous sets, because everybody played. Most people here played a ton of draft formats, and they know how powerful this would be in almost every draft format. It would be in so many draft formats. This would be very close to being a bomb, or maybe in some it would be a bomb. In this one, 6 mana is a huge cost. It is a huge cost. So, what did you give it, Scotty?
C+.
Yeah, it's a trap. A pretty good card. C+. It's a
It
trap.
can't be a trap and a pretty good card in the same sentence.
It is a trap because everybody's gonna pick it as a B+ or an A-.
Fine.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I don't have anything else to add. C+, it's fine. I just wanted to make the point that I like keeping in mind that you just cost a CMC 5 or less no matter how many cards you draw. So even if you draw 2 or 3, you still cost the CMC 5 or less. That's all.
It
It's a
is.
C+.
It was hard. Format is gonna be a bit slower, so this could go up to B- for me, but not yet.